Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Everyday English with me. I'm so happy you're here today. In this episode, we're going to talk about something really important if you want to become fluent in English, and that is how to train your brain to think in English now. Maybe you're asking, why should I think in English? Isn't it enough to just speak or write in English? Well, here's the thing. When you train your brain to think in English, you stop translating from your native language. You start thinking faster, responding naturally, and sounding more fluent. It's like switching your brain into English mode. And once you do that, everything becomes easier. Speaking, listening, writing, and even understanding English movies or podcasts like this one. So today, I'll give you some really helpful tips to start thinking in English. These tips are easy to follow, and you don't need a teacher or a classroom. All you need is you, your mind, and a little practice every day. Let's begin. Asterisk tip 1. Start with simple words and sentences. Lit. S. Begin with the most important tip. Start with simple words and sentences now. When you're trying to think in English, the biggest mistake you can make is trying to speak or think in perfect grammar or with difficult vocabulary right from the beginning. That's just too much pressure. You don't need to sound like an English professor or a news anchor. What you need is to build a habit of thinking in short, simple thoughts, just like children do when they learn a new language. Let me give you an example. Imagine you just woke up. Instead of letting your mind run in your native language, stop for a moment and try to say your first few thoughts in English. You might think, I'm awake. I feel sleepy. It's morning. I want coffee. See, these are short, natural, and easy. But they help your brain start working in English mode right from the start of your day. As the day goes on, keep doing the same thing. When you're getting dressed, I'm wearing a blue shirt. Where are my shoes? It's cold today. You're not writing an essay. You're not even speaking out loud. You're just thinking. And these thoughts are building real language fluency in your brain. Every time you do this, you're teaching your mind to connect actions and ideas directly to English without using your first language as a bridge. If you practice this regularly, you'll soon notice that you don't need to translate in your head anymore. You'll think directly in English. That's real progress. Now, here's a little exercise you can try. Tomorrow, try to spend just 10 minutes, only 10 minutes thinking in English. You can be silent or whisper to yourself. Just describe what you're doing. Brushing your teeth, making breakfast, checking your phone. It might feel strange at first, but it's a powerful way to train your thinking habits. And remember, simple is smart. Keep your sentences short. Use the words you already know. Fluency isn't about using big words, it's about using the right words, easily and naturally. Asterisk tip 2. Use English to describe what you see around you. Alright, let's move on to tip number 2, and this one is really fun. You can train your brain to think in English by describing what you see around you in real time. This is such a simple habit, but it's incredibly powerful. Why? Because it connects your environment to language, and when your brain links real things to English words, it becomes faster and more natural. Let me walk you through it. Let's say you're going for a walk outside. You don't need a book. You don't need Wi-Fi. You just need your eyes and your thoughts. You see a dog? Think in English. That dog is running. It's small and brown. The dog is barking. Then you see a car. The car is red. It's moving slowly. There's a woman driving. Maybe you pass by some people. They are talking. They look happy. They are carrying bags. That's it. Just simple observations. No need to make big, perfect sentences. Just describe what you notice and do it in English. Now, maybe you're not outside. Maybe you're sitting in your room or in the kitchen. That's okay. You can still do this. Look around you and describe what you see. This is my desk. There's a laptop on it. I have a cup of tea. My phone is charging. When you build this habit, you're not only practicing vocabulary, you're also training your speaking rhythm and sentence structure. It's like taking your English learning and mixing it into your daily life. And here's the best part. It doesn't feel like studying. It feels natural. You can do it while cooking, cleaning, walking, or even brushing your hair. Want to level up this exercise? Try adding more details. Instead of the car is red, say the small red car is parked in front of the bakery. Instead of the man is walking, say the tall man in a black jacket is walking quickly down the street. Adding detail helps you use adjectives and prepositions, which are important for speaking fluently. And one last bonus tip here, if you don't know the English word for something, don't stop. Just describe it using what you already know. For example, maybe you don't know the word ceiling fan, so you say, it's a machine on the ceiling that moves air. Perfect! That's thinking in English. You're not translating, you're finding a way to express yourself using only English. This is what real communication is about. You don't need to know every word, you just need to describe what you see and feel using the words you already know. So, give this a try today. Look around. Think in English. Describe your world. It's one of the fastest ways to build real fluency and confidence. Tip 3. Talk to yourself in English. Alright, now let's move on to tip number 3. And honestly, this is one of my favorite ones. Talk to yourself in English. Yes, you heard me right. Talk to yourself. You don't need a partner, a classmate, or even a tutor to practice English. You can become your own conversation buddy. It might sound funny at first, but talking to yourself is actually a very powerful way to build fluency and confidence. Let me explain why this works. When you talk to yourself, there's no pressure. You're not worried about mistakes or being judged. You're free to explore the language, try new phrases, and experiment with how things sound, all in your comfort zone. This is where real growth happens. You can do it out loud when you're alone, or whisper quietly, or even just move your lips. And if you're around other people and feel shy, that's totally okay. Just do it silently in your mind. Here's an example. Imagine you're getting ready in the morning. Start by narrating your actions. I'm brushing my teeth. Now I'm washing my face. I need to pick out my clothes. Then maybe talk about what you plan to do today. Today, I have a meeting at 10 o'clock. I want to go to the grocery store later. I feel a little tired, but I'll be okay. These are natural, everyday thoughts. But in English, and the more you do this, the more automatic it becomes. You start to build a habit of using English in your thinking, which leads directly to speaking fluently. And here's another fun way to practice. Have imaginary conversations. You can pretend you're ordering food at a restaurant. Hi, I'd like a cheeseburger and a coffee, please. Can I sit by the window? Yes, thank you. Or maybe you're meeting someone for the first time. Hi, my name is Emma. What's your name? Nice to meet you. Where are you from? Oh, I've always wanted to visit your country. You can even act out arguments or funny scenes. Be creative. Make it fun. This kind of role play builds your confidence, improves your vocabulary, and makes English part of your daily thinking. One listener once told me, I thought I needed a speaking partner, but I found one in the mirror myself. And I loved that. So remember, the next time you're walking, cooking, or just sitting with your thoughts, try talking to yourself in English. You're not crazy. You're brilliant. You're training your brain to use English naturally, and you're doing an amazing job. Think and question answer from OK. Moving on to tip number 4, and this one is super effective, especially if you want to prepare for real conversations or IELTS speaking practice. This tip is think in question and answer form. You see, when we have conversations in real life, they're full of questions and answers. So, why not train your brain to handle that rhythm in English? Let's try a simple example. Ask yourself, what did I do yesterday? Then answer, I went to work. Now go further. What did I do at work? I had a meeting with my manager. Then, what did we talk about? We discussed the new project. See what's happening here? You're creating a little story in English, step by step. You're training your mind to ask and answer. Just like you would in a real conversation, you can also make it more fun and personal. Pretend you're being interviewed. What's your favorite food? I love pasta, especially with creamy mushroom sauce. What do you usually do on weekends? I like to stay home and watch movies or go out with friends. And if you want to prepare for IELTS or job interviews, this is golden. Practice with typical questions like, what are your hobbies? Describe your hometown. What is a goal you have for the future? You'll be surprised how powerful this is because when you meet someone in real life and they ask you something similar, your brain will say, oh, I've already answered this before. And your response will come out smoothly, naturally, and confidently. You can even make this a daily practice. Every evening, ask yourself, what was the best part of my day? What made me smile today? What am I grateful for? Answering those questions in English not only trains your language, but also gives you a moment of reflection and positivity. One small tip, if you get stuck and don't know how to answer, that's okay. Take a deep breath and say something simple like, let me think, I'm not sure, but maybe, That's a good question. Using those little fillers also makes your speech more natural, especially in exams or real talks. So next time you're walking, lying in bed, or just sitting with your thoughts, play this little game. Ask a question, then answer it in English. Do it every day, and you'll be amazed how quickly your brain adapts. Tip 5. Use mental flashcards. Let's dive into tip number 5, which is about creating mental flashcards. And this is a fun and very visual way to help your brain think in English faster. Now, we all know what flashcards are, right? Usually, they're small cards with a word on one side and a picture or meaning on the other side. They help you memorize vocabulary by showing a word and then helping you recall its meaning. But here's the twist. You don't need physical cards. Instead, you can create mental flashcards inside your mind. Let's say you're learning the word bottle. Instead of just saying bottle and thinking of the word in your native language, pause and try this. Imagine a bottle in your hand. Think about how it feels. Is it glass or plastic? Is it cold? Is it full or empty? Maybe it's a water bottle, or maybe it's a soft drink. Then say to yourself, this is a bottle. That's it. You've just made a mental flashcard. This technique is so effective because it helps you connect English directly to real-life images and feelings, not to a translation. Here's another example. The word umbrella. Don't think of the word in your first language. Instead, picture yourself walking in the rain with an umbrella. You open it. Maybe it's red or blue. Then say, this is my umbrella. It keeps me dry. Your brain now connects the word umbrella directly with the experience, not with translation. The more senses you can involve, sight, touch, sound, the more powerful your memory becomes. This method is especially great for visual learners, but it works for everyone because your brain loves stories and pictures. More than just memorized lists, you can do this with verbs too. Let's try the verb to cook. Close your eyes. Imagine yourself in the kitchen. You're cutting vegetables, you're boiling rice, you're frying eggs. Now say, I'm cooking dinner. Now you're not just memorizing a verb, you're living it in your mind. This technique helps you train your brain to think in English without stopping to translate. Because when you see something, your brain will now say the word in English, not your native language. Here's a mini. Try to create 5 mental flashcards every day. Just 5. Pick a noun, a verb, or an adjective, and picture it. Live it. Then describe it to yourself in English. Over time, your brain will start to think in English automatically. So remember, you don't always need a book or app. Sometimes, the best classroom is right between your ears. Tip 6. Watch or listen to English content and repeat silently. Now let's talk about tip number 6. And this one is a must for every English learner, especially if you love watching YouTube, Netflix, or listening to podcasts. The tip is, watch or listen to English content and repeat silently or softly to yourself. It sounds simple, but it's incredibly effective. Let me explain. When we watch English content, most people are just watching to understand. And that's okay. That's a great start. But if you want to train your brain to think and speak like a native, you have to take it one step further. You have to repeat what you hear, as if you are the one speaking. This technique is sometimes called shadowing. You listen to a sentence, then repeat it immediately. Not loudly, just in a whisper, or even silently by moving your lips. Here's why it works. When you repeat a native speaker's sentence with their rhythm, tone, and flow, your brain starts to copy it. You learn not just what they say, but how they say it. And slowly, your own way of speaking starts to sound more natural, more fluent, and more confident. Let's try an example. Imagine you're watching a movie and the actor says, I'm going to the store. Do you need anything? Pause the video and repeat, I'm going to the store. Do you need anything? Try to match the intonation, the speed, and the emotion. It's not just about words, it's about sound. That's what builds fluency. If you do this regularly, just 10 to 15 minutes, a day your listening and speaking skills will grow together. It's like training your ear and mouth at the same time. And don't worry if you don't understand every word. Focus more on repeating what you hear than on translating. Over time, understanding will become easier as your brain starts to recognize patterns. You can use this technique with podcasts like this one, YouTube videos, TV shows, or Netflix series, audiobooks, IELTS, speaking sample videos. Here's a bonus tip. Use subtitles for the first try. Read and listen at the same time. Then, replay without subtitles and try to repeat only by listening. One listener told me she used to listen to English music and sing along softly while walking, and she didn't even realize how much her pronunciation had improved. So, remember, English content is not just for entertainment, it's a practice tool. Repeat what you hear, mimic the sounds, whisper the sentences. Let your brain absorb the rhythm of English, and soon, it will become your natural rhythm too. Asterisk. Tip 7. Visualize words and sentences in English. Shoka. So let's talk about something really fun and powerful. Visualization. Have you ever tried imagining things in your head while you're reading or listening? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do, but in English. When you hear or say a word, try to create a mental picture of that word. and then associate it with an English sentence. Let's say you're learning the word apple. Instead of translating it into your native language, just imagine a bright red apple in your hand. Then say something like, I'm eating an apple. Imagine yourself doing that. See the action, feel it, hear the sound of the bite. That entire mental experience will lock that word into your brain. In English, you can do this with objects, actions, feelings, and even abstract ideas. Try this. Imagine you're in a library. Picture the quiet room, shelves of books, the smell of old pages. Then think in English. This library is very quiet. I'm reading a book about space. Doing this strengthens your English memory. It helps your brain form connections without translating. It also makes learning feel more natural, more emotional, and honestly, more fun. You can even draw a scene or describe it out loud to yourself or your speaking partner. So the next time you're walking, sitting on a bus, or just daydreaming, practice visualizing in English. It's like playing a movie in your head, but in a way that teaches your brain to think directly in the language. Tip 8. Replace basic thoughts with English automatically. Now let's level things up. This tip is about changing your small, everyday thoughts into English as a habit. You don't have to be speaking out loud all the time. Sometimes the most powerful changes happen inside your mind. Let's say you're walking to class or work. Instead of thinking, I forgot my umbrella, in your native language, try thinking it in English. Oh no, I forgot my umbrella today. At first, this might feel a little slow or strange, but your brain is smart and lazy at the same time. It always chooses the easiest path. So if you train it to default to English, it will begin to do that naturally. Start with very simple daily thoughts. I need to brush my teeth. Where are my keys? I feel tired today. Let's make some coffee. Then move to more emotional or reflective thoughts. That movie was really touching. I hope I do well on the test. I miss my best friend. You can even use your phone reminders or sticky notes to nudge your brain. Like a note on your fridge saying think in English, or a phone wallpaper that says, what are you thinking now? Say it in English. The idea is simple. Don't wait until you're perfect at grammar or vocabulary. Just start thinking in English, even with mistakes. That's totally okay. Over time, your brain will treat English like a familiar friend, not a foreign stranger. So, go ahead, talk to yourself silently in English all day long. It's your secret superpower. All right, my lovely friend. That brings us to the end of today's episode. And wow, we've covered a lot, haven't we? We talked about simple, powerful ways to train your brain to think in English. From naming the things around you to visualizing scenes and replacing your inner thoughts with English phrases. Remember, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to practice consistently and enjoy the journey. Learning a language is not about memorizing everything overnight. It's about making small changes in your daily life. And slowly, your mind will start working naturally in English. That's real progress. So here's what I want you to do now. Pick just one tip from today and try it out right after this episode. Whether it's describing your room, thinking in English while cooking, or visualizing words, just start. You've totally got this. And hey, if you enjoyed this episode or learned something new, I'd be so happy if you could share it with a friend who's also learning English. Let's help each other grow together. Subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode filled with useful tips and motivation. And don't forget to like or rate this podcast on your favorite platform. It really helps me keep creating more free content just for you. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. You're doing amazing, and I'm super proud of your effort. Until next time, keep smiling, keep learning, and keep thinking in English. Talk to you soon.